Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is day 2 of Binance Blockchain Week 2022. And we're going to be taking a deeper dive into some very interesting topics, including NFT, GameFi, and the Metaverse.
Really, at its core, a DAO is just a blockchain-based organization that allows anybody to participate, to make proposals, and to help manage the organization. DAOs are generally run by token holders. Everything's public. In DAOs, discussions are happening online. Everybody can see what's being proposed, the roadmap for these organizations, and everything happens on chain. So you can actually see when decisions are made, when these discussions turn into real, tangible things at these organizations. And for the most part, they're permissionless organizations. Anyone in this audience could join a DAO, buy a few tokens, and start participating, make proposals, rally people to support your proposals. So if you think about really what matters most, the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, traditional organizations and DAOs, in the Web 2 world, decisions are made, products are released, and you as users are monetized. Organizations are making revenue off of you. In the Web 3 world, in DAOs, you're shaping the future of these products. And because you're a token holder and you have economic interest in these DAOs, you are acting in your best interests, and you are the owners of these organizations. These are going to touch every part of the world. So how do we comply with local laws? So one of the largest challenges facing DAOs today and the ability to run a decentralized organization is coordination. Anyone in this room could go and participate in a DAO, but we're not going to all agree, and we're not going to all have the same information. How do you ensure that people are being managed correctly within these DAOs? How do you ensure that people are being paid? Right now, in DAO tooling, very basic things like ensuring people are paid for their services, that tooling is very new, and it's not what we have today, where payroll companies and traditional organizations have been around for centuries at this point. You know, I showed that slide earlier. There are 500,000 active participants in these DAOs. There are over 1 million people that could be participating. So less than half of people in these DAOs actually vote. So this is a very basic illustration of that, which is the paradox where smaller DAOs have much higher participation, which are the large bubbles on the left. Some of the largest DAOs over on the right that have the largest market cap, that have the most token holders, they actually have the lowest participation. They have a lot of passive stakeholders that expect things to be done for them, or maybe they don't know how to actually participate with the tokens that they own. So I want to talk a little bit about what Messari is doing to help solve this problem. So as a data and analytics platform that provides tooling for people participating in decentralized protocols, building on decentralized protocols, or investing in decentralized protocols, we think that this voter turnout, this coordination, these issues on DAOs, the on-chain issues, are something that really will matter and make the difference between if DAOs succeed or fail over the next 5 years. There are so many steps in making a decision in a DAO that aggregating information becomes critical for people to participate intelligently. The way that DAOs are structuring themselves, I just wanted to show an example here. You can see DAOs are building guilds that take care of all of those smaller issues that you would see in an organization. Things like legal, marketing, treasury. We help to tell people this is where you can participate. If you're good at this, go to this one, vote on this, do this. Understand everything that's happening in the DAO that you are holding tokens in. If we think about where we're headed and what maybe not the optimal DAO looks like, but certainly what the DAO of tomorrow looks like, as we learn from all of these early issues we faced on-chain and off-chain. My belief, and our belief at our company, at Messari, is we'll see DAOs with a very clear core mission, a DAO created for a very specific purpose. But not everybody will participate in this higher level DAO, in this higher level issue. People will participate on the second level, smaller committees, individually managed DAOs that provide services or actually ensure that that core mission is accomplished.
Over the last year and a half, we've seen the rise of DeFi. Actually, the concepts were not very new, but now we started applying them and giving them basically to the user base. And we started with DEXs and stable coins, and then we moved to lending protocols and yield farming. So basically, it's a form of recreating the financial primitives that already exist in the traditional finance in a decentralized way.
And I think personally there is three things for this year that are going to be important for DeFi. I think it's first really improve the multi-chain experience, making it as smoothly as possible. Solving capital and efficiency in different aspects of DeFi, I think that's going to be an important focus for this year, because the main focus of DeFi, and I think the key advantage, is really the composability of passive income, having the possibility to stack several layers of yield on top of each other, right? So you do not necessarily need to choose between staking rewards, lending interest, trading fees. You can actually accumulate all of those, right?
For DeFi, is it more of a cross-chain future or multi-chain future?
I would say for DeFi, depending on the application, it's certainly more on the multi-chain side, just because there's so much variation within a virtual machine now. There's not all chains are just utilizing EVM. So there's going to be advantages and disadvantages from each chain for building DeFi applications. For example, Serum is built on top of Solana, and that type of contract in a sense would not have been possible or gas efficient on an EVM layer.
Yeah, to add up basically on everything, we are talking about two things, which is on the left side you have infrastructure, and on the right side you have adoption. And if you take a look vertically in the whole tech stack, one is at the very bottom in terms of this is the core layer, this is how things are run, this is the technical part that a lot of the user base doesn't want to hear because they just want to start using the products. And then on the other end you have user friendliness, being able to onboard users easily, as Sergej said, like easy wallets, seamless experience for the users, and that's basically, these are two components that are moving in parallel.
I would like to add, so we have not just to onboard the normal people who should use DeFi or would like to use DeFi. We need also to take care to onboard more developers.
I would say there's a huge difference between getting 1 billion users versus getting 50 or 20% of the world's wealth. The biggest distinction here is that there are so many people who are unbanked, who are denied from the legacy financial institution, who can't bear the insane cost from remittances and so forth, and these are users that are completely welcomed in crypto. Maybe not Ethereum at the current moment, but a lot of other chains that, for example, Binance Blockchain that can offer really cheap transaction fees, or even Injective chain.
So I think it's really important for dApps to remember that it's absolutely essential to try to be as decentralized as possible and have actually an ecosystem that is maintaining that service in a decentralized way, right? So for instance, in the case of liquid staking, there is validators. So does it make sense to regulate liquid staking itself? Well, maybe you can take an approach where you can actually regulate the validators, right? So you can regulate people that are actually supporting in a decentralized way to support that network. They're all in different jurisdictions, obviously, but ultimately, if you are kind of a middleware and fully automated and decentralized, well, that's very difficult then to argue that that layer specifically should be regulated, right? So obviously there is a lot of education then to be made to explain actually that fact that regulation is not maybe enforceable in a specific layer if it's a middleware that is completely decentralized. So then trying to regulate and push further, it will put into question the decentralization aspect. So then you have to move to the next step, which is what about those participants that are maintaining that product, right? The validators, the node providers, et cetera, et cetera. So then it's kind of maybe pushing a little bit the regulation scrutiny more to those participants that are supporting that decentralized network.
Olympus now?
Yeah, so basically, like the important thing is usability, like barrier of entry for users, and then stability of the actual system economically, right? So in terms of barrier of entry, we have the KYC, which we already discussed. I think the regulators need to take a look over the whole horizon and then decide which are the best points to regulate. And then regarding stability, we have to, especially around stablecoins and bridges, we have to make sure that I believe the way things are going now, it's not the best path forward when bridges wise, because we are fragmenting the liquidity a lot. We are creating so many stablecoins, and then each stablecoin has many versions of wrapped stablecoins on other chains.
Actually have centralized exchanges, crypto custodians, like mobile wallet providers, to incorporate DeFi products and give it access to their users, right? Because let's be honest, right? It's still easier to use a Binance exchange than using DeFi directly for many users, right? So it's really bringing DeFi to the centralized exchanges and those centralized crypto providers that will support heavily that next wave of adoption.
More builders brings more innovation and more integrations, brings more liquidity, and forces the user to go to DeFi.
I will explain a little bit our approach of like how we're building the open NFT metaverse at the Sandbox. And before I do so, I'd like to start by showing you a teaser video from the Alpha Season 2 in Sandbox, which you can currently play live right now until March 31st, enjoying more than 35 experiences, social hubs, games, more than 200 quests that you can complete, all kind of experiences where you can fight, you can explore, you can socialize with others, you can discover games made by the community that anyone can play. You can complete quests and use those to earn rewards such as NFTs and tokens, up to 1,000 Sand in this Season 2. You can also play with your NFTs, with for the first time, the implementation of interoperability of NFTs in the metaverse. You can party with Blondish, listen to exclusive music. You can visit Snoop Dogg Mansion, and also play with your doggies' avatars. To us, the metaverse is this myriad of virtual worlds where you, as a user, through an avatar, a 3D representation of yourself, will be able to experience more social, more rich, more fun, more immersive experiences. So through that avatar, you can participate into a new form of entertainment where you can own your digital asset, your identity, your currency. You can socialize, you can play, you can build together, you can meet other people, you can earn, and many more things. So the future of gaming, now that we've seen about all those different aspects, is a place where anyone can build, anyone can create their content, anyone can collect and own and monetize their content, and use those content to even participate into the governance of that virtual world, leading into the creation of new business models such as play to earn or play and earn now. Essentially, we would like the metaverse to become an extension of the real world experiences where your imagination, where there's no limit to your imagination or beyond and going beyond the laws of physics, whether it's in fashion and apparel, social and dating, shopping, video games, art museums, sports as well, and more. Any one of you should be able to think out of this talk or after testing Sandbox that I can do something with this. I can become a creator, such as an architect, a game designer, a fashion designer, a house designer. I can maybe launch my business as a virtual real estate agent, as a curator of NFTs, as event organizer, as a coach, why not? I can even be a host, animate activities into a hub, but also I can be a player, and I don't need to be the best player in the world and only start earning a revenue through esports competition, actually just spending time and doing various activities is a new way to earn a revenue thanks to the play-to-earn business model. So here are some 5 of the key recommendations I would say to anyone who is interested into entering the metaverse as a brand, as a creator, as a community. First of all, think of it like how do we give value to fans and loyal users rather than how do we extract value from them. That's new. Like in Web 2, people try to monetize, people try to create like closed-walled garden economies. Here the idea is like to empower your community, to make them feel rewarded really through their engagement, such as by giving them community access pass, access to private concert, NFT gateways, and even, why not, activation in the physical real world through NFT ownership.
Yeah, sure. We talk about 1 billion user. So we look at the Web 2. Who have the 1 billion user? Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, WeChat. Those have 1 billion users. And how long does it take them to reach 1 billion users? Facebook take 8 years, TikTok take around 5 years, and others between 5 to 8 years. So in terms of when we will reach that for crypto industry, I would think 1 to 2 years. Every use case is now approaching blockchain, and every people is actually taking action. So that's the reason we think it's approaching 1 to 2 years.
I believe that we'll see exponential growth moving forward. I mean, we are in a much better situation than we were a few years ago in 2017. Right now we have projects at work, we have capital, we have GameFi projects, we have a lot of users and institutional users.
So 1 billion users is a really important milestone, of course, but another way I think about slicing this up is in terms of DeFi TVL. So right now we're about 200 billion TVL for DeFi. That's out of 200 trillion, I think 200 trillion for the total global monetary supply. That's about 0.1% penetration. You know, in terms of the user experience, we still have so much more work to do because, you know, for those of us that have been around and are kind of crypto OGs, you know, if you've used MetaMask or whatnot, the fundamental experience hasn't changed much, right? The next billion users, I'm not sure that they're going to be touching, you know, these wallets, right? The whole experience might be of using the wallet might be obfuscated to the users because I'm not sure I see my parents using MetaMask or my parents understanding what liquid staking is or rebase tokens, right? There's amazing value in all of these innovations, but in order to get to the next billion users, I think really we have to plug in this infrastructure into the big banks and let them pass on the value to the larger segments and let them abstract a lot of the complexity away.
We come across incidents that are major hacks out there that make us stop and pause. That actually slows down that growth rate. And so I think, you know, beyond just better user experiences, a good amount of it is education out there. It's letting people know, you know, as we were going at this rate, that they should be educated to know about, you know, how to transact, how to securely develop, and how to create a secure ecosystem out there. We're in the 3rd month of this year, and we've just seen 3 major bridge attacks, right? Accounting to around $400 million in losses. So it's only getting worse. A lot of it is starting with being educated about how to develop in a secure way, but also realizing that stuff like audits are important in the whole process. They're not an afterthought. They're a part of the process, and they have to be included in the process.
We at Multichain, we want to be the backbone of cross-chain interoperability. So we really want to be a set of tools that projects can integrate. We really believe that if the UX is simple, if the UI is simple, it is much easier to explain to the user what they're doing. So in the end, I believe, like Brad, that we'll see an omni-chain future.
I think the path to 1 billion users is going to be paved by DeFi. I believe that DeFi provides a lot of utility to people, and they're going to start waking up and seeing the value, and they're going to start thinking of it like, okay, I have a car, now I want an electric car. It's an upgrade. It's still a car. You're still going to have like a bank account. It's just going to be faster, more efficient, and it's going to provide you way more value. The future is going to be CDeFi, and then there's going to be a segment of people that want to do activities on their own, but if you want to take advantage of all of the use cases that are coming, whether it's a DeFi mortgage, DeFi commercial loan, DeFi payday loan, DeFi line of credit, whatever it is, that you're going to have to be compliant. And so for that reason, I think it's going to be more like 80-20% decentralized.
I like you putting precise numbers. Thank you, Brett. Vasco.
Multichain, we believe in full decentralization.
100%.
But decentralization of the protocol, decentralization in terms of governance and how it works. But in the end, any centralized bank or whatever can use our platform. So in the end, it's being decentralized, it's open for everyone. So even a centralized bank will like that it's decentralized because in the end, it's safer.